Hey guys, Brian from the SE Optimist here. I'm just outside for a little bit and I figured to fit with the theme of the walk and talk videos that we've been doing recently, I wanted to do one today on image SEO. Something to say about that right off the bat. People are often wondering like, how important is this and how much am I, screwing myself over by not doing it? That's debatable. Actually, Moz just did a really great Whiteboard Friday on this topic itself, and I'll link to that in the description, why it's still valid and probably a good idea to do image optimization these days, and some great tactics on how you do it and how you structure the surrounding content and whatnot. But I will say this, there were some methods years ago that a lot of people were hyping and recommending, down to if you right click on the image file while it's on your computer and say properties in Windows, you can get into all the options of descriptive text, and I don't even know what some of the fields are called, keywords and other stuff that really have nothing to do with the internet. It's just metadata that Windows stores about the file. And it was said years ago that Google will look at all that information too, so if you have it, then you can improve your rankings. But I remember reading about that back when it was also true that you get your stuff on PR websites all the time for backlinks, and there were all these PR services left and right selling their stuff, and it was around that same time where, and I frame it that way because that's no longer really a viable tactic either, and it's time consuming. And even where it seemed to work at the time, it's the same point that you would make about anything in SEO, which is you're always balancing out time investment to likely benefit ratio. And I like to think about this a lot of the time myself when I'm making decisions on what to do with a website, and not even just when it's a client and you're saying, well, what is their budget every month and how am I best using the time that they're paying for the biggest bang for the buck type things. But even when it's me doing SEO for myself, where in theory I could, throw the entirety of what I know at a site that I'm doing, I don't always, because my time is still limited. And so, if on a scale of 1 to 10 you're saying how important or how much of a difference does this one thing make, it's a 2, but it takes 20 minutes to do this one step, I may skip it. And to me, I'm not even convinced anymore that getting down to that level with images even really makes an appreciable difference with the properties that you can get into extended. And as you'll see in the Whiteboard Friday video that Maz talks about image optimization, they're still centering more on the file name, the alt tags that you put with it on the website, the text that surrounds it. They don't even talk about this extended properties data anymore. So, I mean, that would really suggest to me, beyond my own anecdotal opinion on it, that it's not worth your time. And really, I often say that SEO is a game of a lot of small wins. It's not that any one thing you do is going to totally blow up your rankings and make everything totally different than it was, before doing that. But really, where you start to see the powerful impact is by getting 10 little things right together and the cumulative effect that they have. But even having said that, there's much bigger bang for your buck basics. And they're the things that if you've watched my other videos, you see that I harp on a lot more often, like getting your titles right, getting the actual page written content right, getting the metadata right, getting the way that pages reference each other right, etc. As far as on-site things go, that stuff is way more important, way more impactful. It's just a much better use of your time. I'm not saying that image optimization, the way that Maz talks about it in their video, is not worthwhile, because it certainly is, and he makes a great point that like almost 20% of Google searches are image searches, and quite often when people find an image that's cool, Google gives the option to visit the website it came from, so it is a way to drive traffic that not everyone thinks of, and that's valid. But definitely meter just how deep you're going to go with that. Changing the file name while you're getting the image ready to upload it to your site, that's quick and easy, and it makes sense to name the file name something related to a topic or a keyword. That's easy. The alt tags, easy. thinking about the text that surrounds the image, easy. So I would recommend doing all those things, but even if it were true that all that extended stuff with the properties, in the image file helped, it's minimal and it's time consuming. And especially if you're on a page where you're going to have a whole bunch of images, imagining having to tediously go through every single image and do that kind of stuff, your time is much better spent on other things in the site. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's my opinion, in case that helps somebody wondering, how much should I be worried about the images, and what things should I be even doing with the images, since there's a lot of conflicting information out there about how to even do that. And if you guys have questions about that I can answer in another video or something, go ahead and ask them in the comments below, or by email if you're seeing this in my newsletter, and I'll be happy to answer them in a future video. Thanks guys for watching. Catch you next video.